Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Soul Sisters 10X. Welcome to Money Minded. Today is December the 20th, 2024, Friday night. Hope all is doing well. We know this has been a long year. We're at the end of the year. I was reflecting a little earlier. I was trying to remember when I actually started doing this, and I couldn't remember. I want to think it was around April or May. I'm thinking, but anyway, so as I was thinking about that and trying to figure out what I want, we've talked a lot of things throughout the year, and we're going into a new year. So, what I'm going to do is actually challenge anybody who's watching and who wants to do a financial money challenge with me on next year. So hopefully we've learned a lot of things. We talked about paying down our debt. We talked about student loans. We talked about mortgages, all budgeting, all these things. So next year, I would like to do a challenge to see how much money. Praise the Lord, Sister Laretha. I would like to do a challenge to see how much money we can actually save for next year. Sometimes I think even myself, things sound good. We got a plan. We put all this stuff in our head, and then all of a sudden, halfway through, or something happens, and we get off course. We always give up. We always throw in a towel. But sometimes when you have somebody that working along with you or to hold you accountable, then it gets a little bit easier. So we are going to do, praise the Lord, Sister Ross, Sister Carol, and we're going to do a money minded financial challenge for 2025. Okay, so I have a goal set in mind for myself. Now, the goal that I have and set for me does not have to be your goal. You do what is best for you. Okay, it's a challenge to save whatever dollar amount that you come up with, whatever way that you want to do it. It's totally up to you. But what we want to do is we want to have a little bit more saved up by this time next year, and Lord's willing, than we do this year. And if we hold each other accountable, and I'll try either at the end of the month, I'll try to remember blessings. I will try to remember to mention it and bring it back up and ask everybody how they're doing with their goal. You don't have to put in there what your goal, in the chat or however we discuss it, how much you saved or whatnot. But if you have any ideas or suggestions to do, or suggestions to help people, that then or best practices, then by all means, let's do it. But I thought this would be kind of fun for us to do and to see how well we can do. Okay, so I'm going to start off. I've already met I've already decided how much I want to save next year. I'm doing it today, and then next week, when we're on next Friday night, hopefully you'll have your mind or your goal and set. My goal next year is to save $5,000. Okay, that's my goal for next year. It seems like a lot, and it can be a lot, and it can be challenging. But again, that's for me. If you don't want to do that much, please, by all means, don't overdo it. Don't set a goal too high that you won't be able to achieve. That's the number one. Okay. So again, I talked about these books before. I bought this off of Temu. 100 envelope savings challenge. This is not necessarily the one I did this year was 52 weeks, and every week I saved a certain amount of money, and I did well with it. There was a couple of weeks, just to be honest, there was a couple of weeks that I forgot, I slipped my mind, I overspent in some things, so I did make it up and backtrack in that book. But so I decided to set myself a higher goal. So I got this off Temu. I think it was maybe about $5 or $6. In it, it's 100 envelope challenge. Okay, in it, it's got 100 dots in it. I'm not sure if you can see that if it's too far. Let me go this way. There we go. So this is actually $5,050. If I saved it, it's a 1 to 100. All right. So what this book does for me is I can start off with 100. I can start off with 1. whatever circle I want to fill in, that's how much money I have to save in that envelope for that particular day. There is no weekly challenge. There's no time frame on this. Okay. But for myself, I'm giving myself the whole year to be able to do this. Okay. So this is just my personal goal. All right. So I chose this one. Again, Temu's got plenty others. I'm quite sure Amazon, Shein, all the places that we shop has different kinds. Okay. So now I've set my goal. I set my goal for $1,000 or for $5,000 for next year. So now I have to put my SMART goals into use. The acronym SMART. The S means P Pacific. I set specifically, I'm going to do $5,000. Specifically, my time bound is I'm going to do it in a year. I made a specific goal. That's my S. I have to make sure it's measurable. Again, for you all that is going to join me in the challenge for next year, make sure whatever goal that you set is measurable. Okay, you don't want to go overboard and say, okay, I'm going to save $10,000, and you know that's not the case, or too big of a number. Okay, so you want to make sure that you can reach that goal. A lot of times, I'm going to use weight loss because that's a big one. A lot of times we say, oh, I want to lose 50 pounds. And we make this, I'm going to lose 50 pounds in 3 months. I've been there, done that. And something happens, stress happens. And what do? We give up, we throw in the towel, we forget all about it. And the goal's gone. Okay. And the challenge is just thrown out the window. But we're not going to do that. We're going to try our best to stick to our goal. But you got to make sure that it's measurable. Okay. The A stands for attainable. You got to, you don't, again, if 5,000 is too much for you, that's fine. Please don't do what I'm doing, but I want you to do something that you can obtain, okay, that you're going to be able to afford. And then the R is relevant, okay? You got to make sure that it makes sense, all right? And T is time bound. Again, we're going to do a money saving challenge. So our time bound is 1 year. So you have this week, tonight we're talking about it. This whole week here, if you're gonna join me in the challenge, you're going to be able to start setting yourself a goal. Make sure that it's specific, it's measurable, attainable, relevant, and time bound. All right, of how much you're going to spend, or how much you want to save. I'm sorry, we don't want to spend, we want to save. And you'll be really surprised at what we can do when we put our mind to things. Okay, so when we got this, we got the goal, we know what we want to do. I got my little envelope, my folder here, my book, my envelope. I know what I'm going to do. So now what I have to think about, I want to ask myself the why questions: who, what, when, where, why, and how. Okay, the who is me, obviously, right? The what, I've set a goal. I want to save $5,000 next year. All right. That's the what. When? Next year. I got a whole 365 days to do it. Why am I doing it? Okay. You want to definitely ask yourself why. What is your goal? What is the idea of saving that money? For me, I want to be more money minded. I want to be able to save more. I'm getting closer to retirement. So I have to learn how to manage my money better. I have a lot of reasons why I want to do that. Okay. And then the next question comes, how? Okay. How am I going to do it? So this is where your planning comes in, from the beginning where we started until now. You got to make yourself a budget. How am I going to save that amount of money? Say for you, it's $1,000. Okay. You want to save $1,000 next year. How am I going to do it? I struggled this year. I don't know, this happened, that happened, whatnot. So you want to ask yourself how. Go through your budget. Okay. You may have to sacrifice going out to the movies, eating dinner out. You may have to sacrifice those pair of shoes that you wanted. Again, go back to your wants and your needs. Do I really need to purchase that new pair of shoes? I have 30 pair of shoes at home. I don't need it. Let me put this towards my savings. Okay. So these are your hows. All right. And then you want to, even if you have to journal this, a lot of people journal a lot of things in their lives. We journal When this is a Christian channel, so we study the word, we journal scriptures, we journal positivity, kindness, a lot of things that we journal, our feelings and whatnot. You can journal your finances too. I think I shared earlier when I was talking about getting my master's degree, and I remember having a math class in my undergrad, and I had to write a paper in math class, and I'm like, wait a minute. Who writes papers in math class? Math is all about math, right? But you can journal it. You can journal your journey. You can write down what works, write down what didn't work. You can encourage yourself with a scripture, okay? Last week I was supposed to save $100. Such and such happened, and I didn't do it. Those shoes were calling my name. I did my impulse spending, and I know I shouldn't have done that. Okay, you can even, I encourage you to tie the word through it. Go into the Bible, read the scripture. I can do all things through Christ that strengthen me. Give yourself something that will re-encourage you, that will encourage you to get yourself back on track to be able to do it. Don't give up. Okay, there might be a month that you won't even be able to save. God forbid, but maybe something will break down. Your car could break down, or you can get, I don't know, anything could happen. You may need a new refrigerator or something like that. And you may have to dip in the fund of the money that you're trying to save. But you have to let yourself know it's okay. Okay, we got to talk to ourselves and do a little mental health check, even with our finances, and let yourself know that it's okay, but jump back on track. All right. So you got to ask yourself the why questions. Who, what, when, where, why, and how. All right. Journal it. Figure it all out. All right. As we go through our journey, I want us to continue to think about our end goal. Think about how accomplished you're going to feel, how much better you're going to feel. And I have a big goal. This is a huge goal. $5,000 is a huge goal, right? But my plan is I'm going to break it up into small goals. Okay, so when I save $1,000, oh my goodness, I saved $1,000, so I'm going to celebrate. That doesn't mean go in the envelopes and spend all of that you have. But if you have a little bit extra, if you want to skip a week, celebrate. Buy yourself something. Always want to celebrate your successes. We do a very good job. This is money minded. We do a very good job of beating ourselves up when we make mistakes, of staying in that negative headspace for a period of time. Okay. But when we celebrate our successes, we're high for only a little while, and then it goes right back down, and we forget about that. So celebrate your successes along the way. Okay. And think about the end goal. Be proud of yourself. Hey, I hit that $1,000. Hey, I hit that $2,000. Hey, I hit that $3,000. For me and my goal, and again, this is I got it off Temu. Those who joined in late or whatever, this is my goal, and it's the $5,000 for next year, right? So for me, I'm gonna start at the beginning. I'm gonna start with the hardest, which is a $100 bill. I'm going to start and work my way down. Sometimes we think that we can't do it and it's going to be too tough. Or another suggestion, if you're doing this goal and you are expecting some kind of bonus or income taxes time is coming, that would be a great time, okay, to take some of that a little bit and reward it and put it in your saver and save your money then. Do your big, whatever your goal is, your big amounts then. Okay. So think about your end goal. I like this. It says use the 80-20 rule. The rule states that 20% of your activities will usually account for 80% of your results. All right. 20% of your activities. So if we don't stay, if we stay active in it, just a little 20% of it, we can get better results. But if you don't put activity in it, if you, again, out of sight, out of mind, if you're not think about it, then your results are going to be small. All right. So what does that mean? You got to put time into it. The same way we do everything else in our lives is the same thing you have to do if you want to be financially stable. If you want to save money, you got to invest in yourself. You got to invest in a budget. You got to invest in looking at how you spend your money. Okay. And the last thing it says here is to set up a system. How are you going to do it? You know what I mean? And if the system is broken or if it's not working, it's okay to go back and change it. All right. We always have to make adjustments in life. Each and every day, we try our best. At least I tell myself, I want to be today. Lord, help me be better today than I was yesterday. I want to grow more today than I was yesterday in all aspects of our lives. And that includes our finances as well. So if you want to grow in your finances, you can pray for that as well. Okay? So we got to make sure that we have it. Your goal setting. Your goals, excuse me, you have a performance goal and your outcome goal and your progress goal. Again, I talked a little bit about that. You know, I set a goal high of $5,000. Okay, when I get to even when I get to 500, hey, my goodness, I'm doing pretty good, saving on that journey on my finances. Okay, and you want to celebrate those things, motivate yourself, take specific action, and make sure that you still just stay focused on it. Don't give up and don't give in. That's the ultimate goal. Even if you have to dip into it a little bit, see what works. And then at the end, when you set the goal and you save that money, to save that money, the only thing I have not done yet is thought about, if I really do this, if I can do this, what am I going to do with it? That's the next key. Okay, that could be one of your what's, one of your why questions. Whatever goal that you set for yourself, when you get it, what are you going to do with it? Are you going to invest it? Are you going to put it buy a CD? Are you going to go on vacation? Are you putting it towards retirement? Whatever the case might be. But when you set that goal, at least make a little bit of it so you can at least reward yourself. Reward yourself with something that you will be able to achieve that goal. And then imagine how you're going to feel this time next year when you look back and realize that you did it, that you succeeded, and you can see what works and what didn't work. Again, I started off with the envelope I started off with this year, and I did it. It was great. So I set up a bigger goal for next year. And I had a specific use for the money that I saved. It worked out perfectly, and I wound up with a little bit extra, which is great. I might even take that extra and put it forth towards next year's goal. So you can do all things if you put your mind to be successful. So let me know, those who are listening, let me know in the chat what you think. If anybody would like to join me next year on our saving challenge. And then if you have any ideas about how we can hold each other accountable, okay? And when we set the goals and what we can do to be able to achieve those goals. And then maybe we could share some, oh, you did it? You did it, Sister Fields? All right. Are you asking about the book? It's not 100. I see you have a question mark. It's not 100 days. It's 100 envelope savings challenge. Okay. And then it's got from $1. I don't know if you can see it. It's got from $1 to $100. And there's 100 envelopes in here. And so you could start off, like if you wanted to save your $50 bill, you just put it, if you got $50 to save, you put it in a $50 envelope. If you got $49, you put it in a $49 envelope. And then by the time you fill the whole book up, there'll be $5,050 in the book. There is no time frame on this book. I'm putting out in there for me. For me, I'm going to do this next year. For me. Temu has a whole bunch of different kinds, whatever, how many envelopes you want, whatever you want to save, however you want to save. This is just my personal goal, whatever goal you want to do for yourself. Okay, so this is just my personal goal. I like the one that I have. This year I think it was $1,500. Because it was 50. The one I had for this year was 52 weeks, and I believe by the end of the year I'll have another week. I'll have 50 or 1,500 or something, $1,600 or something like that. And it worked. And it worked out really well. The first week you saved $1. The second week you saved $2, and then it went up. So yeah, what's 52? What I can't remember off the top of my head what it is. But this is the one I want to do next year, because I don't want to stay in the same place. I want to do more than what I did the following year. Okay. My family and I are planning on going back to Disney again, and this is one of my goals. Is some of that will be used for that, and we're planning on, I think 2026 is when we're going to be taking our family trip, I believe, to Disney. So it's, you think you try to save and accomplish those kind of goals. So, okay. So I hope everybody is willing in the challenge, and I encourage you also to tell friends wherever you live, church members, family, hey, we're doing this challenge next year, financial challenge, to see if we can save ourselves a little bit of money. Sister Carol. Okay, so for you, Sister Carol, you get paid with the once a month, is you're really gonna have to sit down and do your budget. So you may not want to do this envelope, and this one, you can do other one. I know they have. I was looking, Sister Carol, and they even have a box, like a money box that you can put in. And I'm not sure how many weeks or they have, but I did see a 30 envelope. They had a 30 envelope one on Temu. If you're interested, I'm not sure how much money that saved or what envelope. I didn't get that deep into it, what it saves. But again, it's up to you. So what you have to do is you have to really manage, what you got going out versus what you got coming in, and see what you can afford to put away each day, and then what you want to sacrifice. For me this year too, in doing that, I find, I have really, even though I'm teaching this, I'm still learning it as well. I'm really finding myself, disciplining myself. I got so much stuff. I got so many clothes. I got so many shoes I don't need. I was at BJ's earlier, and I was getting some things for Christmas dinner, and I'm just walking around because, of course, they got everything on there and whatnot. And they had some boots in there, and I'm like, oh, those are so cute. And I'm up, Sharon, walk away. Because, it's so easy for us to get caught up in it, and there, of course, it's 5 days before Christmas. Yeah, today's 20th. 5 days before Christmas. So things are starting to go on sale. Places like BJ's Warehouse, if you have a Costco's or Sam's Club, they get really into the Christmas time and whatnot. Even in Walmart, I went to Walmart afterwards too to get the smaller things that I didn't need to purchase in bulk. And I think they're starting to put things on sale, 10% off. A 10% isn't a lot, but 10% is more than what it was a week ago off. It's less, 10% less than what it was a week ago, because they don't want to hold all this stuff, merchandising and things around. But it's easy to get caught up with that, because here I am telling myself, oh, they on sale, blah, blah. They may not have your size. Nope. You don't need it. You got two excuse me. You got 2 feet and 50 pair of shoes. And we, how we do. We're women. We stick to those what we like. We keep going back to them same old, and we're gonna wear them until we dog them out. I don't know about you, but I find clothes in my closet with tags on it that I never wore, just hanging on the hanger in the closet, where I could have the money in the envelope, right? So I can invest or save or use it for something else, So that is a little bit challenging, Sister Carol. But if you do your, your journal it and you really write it down. Today is the 20th, so we're gonna start in January. So you got a couple weeks to try to figure out how. First of all, you got to figure out what you want your goal to be, and then how you'll be able to accomplish what that looks like for you. It might be every other month, every month I can put X amount of dollars away, and that's fine. Again, you don't have to do the same that I'm doing. I just think that just as an encouragement and uplifter, just to let us know that we can do it, that we will be able to save the money. So we're going to do this challenge. I'm excited for us, and I hope we can all keep in touch and encourage one another and see how each other is doing, and to be money minded. All right, that's all I have for you tonight. So we're gonna start our challenge. So everybody's got homework. You gotta figure out if you want to join. No pressure. If you want to join, okay, the who, what, when, where, and why, and the SMART goal. How much you want to save, who, what, when, where, and how you're going to save it, and journal it. All right. I also have, obviously reading the Bible, studying the Bible stuff. The Bible speaks, and I think I did this 2 weeks ago. It speaks a lot about wealth, and we're studying Bible class. We're studying the book of Genesis, and reading the book of Genesis in the beginning where God created everything, and he made it so beautiful, and everything he said he made was good. And then at the end of chapter 1, he says he found it to be good and very good. So God made paradise for us, but because of one man's sin, here we are. But that does not mean that we still can't have those things in life. I honestly believe that. I don't, I'm not saying that we got to be, millionaires and all of that, but I do believe that we can do better when it comes to our finances than we do. I don't think there's any. I haven't read anything in the Bible yet. God took everything away from Job, and he gave Job back double. Abraham had riches. He had a cattle and land, and he promised all of them land. And Moses took him to the promised land. And when we get in the word, these things weren't poverty places. They were in some sticky situations, but a lot of it was because of their own doing, of their own disobedience. And so when we look at our finances, a lot of us are where we are because of our own lack of discipline. I'll put it that way. Our own overspending, our own getting into what we weren't supposed to get into. We get ourselves into debt. I've been hearing it every morning on the news, how they're encouraging people, don't do it. Don't go out and spend $1,000 on your credit cards. Credit cards have the highest interest rate. You're going to be paying off all next year. Don't do it. But people want to satisfy people, and they just continue to do, and then you spend all next year paying it off. So we get ourselves in these sticky situations. But we know that God is a provider. Not only that, I challenge us to challenge him. He told us if we give and give freely and willingly, he will open up the windows of heaven and pour out the blessing. We wouldn't have room to receive. We just got to believe him on that. We got to believe on that, and he will do just what he said. All right. So that's all I have for you tonight. Everybody has their assignment. I hope everybody wants to join. I look forward to it. I think we're going to have some fun with it. All right. And let me know next week how you did, and if we're all up for the challenge. All right. God, good Christmas this week, and stay safe and enjoy your friends and family. And Lord willing, I'll be back with you on next Friday night. Be blessed.